First disclaimer about disturbing content. This episode involves sexual assault. It might be very upsetting for some of you, so please, take care of you first.
Veuillez regagner votre siège, vos bagages à main doivent être rangés dans les coffres et les accessoires sous les sièges devant vous. Ladies and gentlemen, we have begun our descent to Johannesburg. Please return to your seat. Your hand baggage must be stored in the head compartments and accessories in the seat in front of you.
Traveling to foreign lands means traveling within. Discovering lands always turns into the discovery of a part of yourself, a part you might have been unaware of, or a part you decided to ignore. I decided to travel South Africa for a month. Some people collect pictures and souvenirs. I also collected sounds, just like memories.
Please keep your seatbelt fastened until the illuminated sign has been switched off, and be careful in opening the head compartments as items may fall out.
Welcome to Self-Love Tribute. This is Self-Love Tribute. This is I Feel a Home Where the Bird Sings. Episode 3. Jeffreys Bay. Can I own my body? The body remembers. Every dream one lives for, or the nightmares it has to endure. The body remembers. I spent nights begging my bones not to break under the weight of my mind's thoughts. They definitely broke more than once under the weight of others' silences. Those active accomplices. They would never help you find peace. At night, I pray. I pray for all the girls who break under the weight of silence, the lonely moments. Because the body remembers. It knows words live longer than the space they take. It knows missing words live longer than the space they would ever take. Every woman is warned by her elders. Becoming a woman comes with a price. This is the burden my grandma told me about. My mother drowned in. My sister's pains from. The shadow of silence and shame weigh just as much as the man. I traveled to Jeffreys Bay. It's a town in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. I needed to breathe. I thought seeing the ocean would remind me how to breathe. I was staying at a hostel. I immediately hated the area. It was a hippie surfing area, which meant a lot of white privileged people. But there I met this beautiful woman. She invited me and other people from the hostel to visit her aunt. This lady just lost her husband, and a celebration was thrown by her community so that she doesn't feel alone. we arrived at her house, and we were warmly welcomed. I'm still surprised how locals stay so open to foreigners there. The women were inside and the men were outside drinking. Already 2 of them were too intoxicated to make sense. Earlier, I was showed by a local this township, just next to the hostel. There, the unemployment was too high for people to stop looking around to see what's left. It was too high for people to hope to get free. I went to the garden to grab a beer. As I went down on the floor to grab one, I felt this hand going down from my back to my backside. I felt all the fingers of this hand on my backside. My mind completely froze, as it had so many times before. I turned around and faced all of those men who were all hoping for this situation to fade, just like them. I knew this guy. I had spent time with him in the hostel. I shared meals with him. Sexual assault often comes from around the corner. The close friend, the family member, the friend of the friend, the neighbor. But it also takes accomplices, the ones who silence you for their own comfort. When I confronted him about what he did, he denied this even happened. I walked away, hoping for this incident to also fade away. And then, at some point, I just remembered. I realized that I faced those silent deaths more than once. I've swallowed them one by one, silently, just to avoid public death too. I realized it was always an organized murder, executed by the ones who oppressed me, facilitated by the ones who stared at me while I choked. Walking away, I hoped I would forget what happened. But I knew my body would remember. I knew a shower wouldn't wash away the shame, wouldn't wash away the anger out of my hair, out of my skin. I tried so many times before. I knew the music of my own rage would keep me from sleeping again. My body remembered. It started when I was 13. The beginning, when the world confirms you're not a teen. This body is not yours anymore, because you look like a woman. Over the years, I slowly trained myself to accept it. The price of being a woman. The price of being around men. I stopped smiling to strangers. I knew for some, unzipping my smile meant unzipping their pants. I stopped looking at strangers. I knew a look could be read as an invitation. And then it hit me, finally, for a few seconds. Time loved me. Every minute was heavy, every second unbearable to carry. It was us, my grandmother, my mother, my ancestors, the young me. Our bodies together, remembered, yelled for justice. I don't even remember what happened. I just remember my body asking for revenge. I hit him with all of my strength with this glass bottle he was sipping on. People stopped me, and he was asked to leave by the women around me. Moments later, I was basking in the warmth of the sun, soaking in what went wrong, listening to the bird song. I do not regret what I did. It took me 15 years to finally answer. No one defended me. Everybody praised me, but no man defended me. Some even told me, "But you know, you're so pretty." It's a societal disease. This rape culture we all live in, the victim blaming, the shame, the silence it pushes on the victim. I will never be able to avoid sexual assault. There is no such thing as safe space. It's everywhere. It's at a friend's party, in the bus, on the streets, at school, in public spaces, and in the most intimate moments. When sexual assault happens, so many of us women and femmes have to choose between facing another silent death or choose to speak up and put our life on the line. Every time I refuse this silent death, I have to remind myself I am not trying to get by. I'm trying to get free and still live in peace in between. I am just trying to get free.